And we're back. And we're at 57 dupes. Yep, 6 in rockets, 51 around running around the map. Well, not all of them running around the map. A bunch of them are still in training on the training wheels, of course. Now, this is slowly coming online. And when I say slowly, I mean it's taking 8 minutes between each autosave. To put that in perspective, every 10 cycles takes an hour and 20 minutes of real time. This was taking far, far, far too long. So, what I've done for the time being, have I hotkeyed it? No, I have not. One second. I have gone and drained the cooling loops out of my carbon capture devices. The carbon sinks, I'm pretty sure they're a big FPS drain, namely because of, well, the huge amount of space they're taking up and an enormous amount of state changes going on. So all I've done at the moment is I've just actually hooked them up to a liquid storage tank and I'm just draining out the loops. That should hopefully free up a few more frames per second so that I can turn these back on again later when I need the carbon dioxide, but for the time being I'm just going to leave them offline. Where is it? Yeah, that cooling loop, this one over this side, was 2.14 tons of supercoolant. There's some pretty big loops. Anyway, back to Slicksters. Yeah, these are starting to come online, and I've had my first, what do you call them, molten Slickster spawn, and they thankfully dropped a big blob of petroleum right there, which now is blocking any of the new births from actually causing any more problems. None of these Slickster larvae can actually consume any carbon dioxide. They're trapped with no access to atmosphere. That's fine. They're never going to starve. They start with plenty of calories. But this means I won't have any petroleum gunking up my works. Now, this is slowly starting to actually become useful. By that I mean, in here we have, what, 25 critters? And I am feeding in all of this ranch and all of this ranch are all being dumped in there. So this should quickly ramp up my numbers. Well, quickly in terms of cycles, maybe not quickly in terms of real time. Now, these two ranches here are set to the highest priority. Basically, anytime a slickster is wrangled, if there's a space in either of these, they're level 8, so they'll drop them off there first. All the rest of these are level 5, so they'll drop them off there second. I'm also going to make a kill room so I can, or, well, a second evolution room, let's say, up here. Where is it? Yeah, here. So what I'm going to do is drop off any long hairs, moltens, and excess slicksters here, and I'll make these like a priority 4 or something like that. That way they, what is that in the background? One least useful, 9 most. Oh, never mind. So I'll make those level 4s, and then any excess slicksters will get dropped off in there. Oh, yes, and I have... Is it breathable gas or unbreathable? Yeah, my recording software works with Control F9 and Control F10, and I believe I have hit Control F12. Where is it? Or no, Control F11. Yeah, there's an annoying thing here. Where is it? Debug mode. Control F11. No, that's Shift. Control F11. Debug, discover all elements. So when I was turning off my recording software, doing something with it, I think I hit Control F11 because now, yeah, I left a bunch of them unbound. Now I have access to some random junk. I didn't notice this for ages. Where is it? Metal. No, mesh tiles. This is where I noticed it. You notice here I've got access to mercury and electrum and pyrite. And when I say access, they show up, but of course they're not present on the map. Yeah, I went back through the footage and I figured out it happened somewhere around cycle 1759 and 1760. At some point there, I messed up with my recording software and hit Control F11. Yeah, that's several hours ago. I'm not going back that far. So, yeah, I'm basically stuck with those annoying things. If anyone knows a way to get rid of them, please let me know. It's also kind of annoying because this was a perfect save with no debug elements involved, but now I've got this in the way. Oh well, stuff happens. Yeah, I'm just going to skip forward in time here until, well, what I'm trying to do at the moment actually is free up some frames. I need more speed. The problem being, it's not going fast enough. I need to get this done much faster than it's currently going. So what I'm doing is bricking off areas and I'm going to start slicing up the map and restricting pathing. It's pretty much my only option at this point to try and squeeze as many frames as I can out. Otherwise, this is going to take an eternity. I've even started bricking up the sides of here. And I'm going to have to limit pathing options for all my dupes. And I'm going to have to brick up areas up here to stop the vacuum. Vacuum is actually worse than bricks, so I'm going to brick up everywhere and everything. So I'll just skip forward a bit and we'll come back in when we've got a little bit more stuff to do. And that's new recruit 58. All I need is another 42 duplicates and then I'll be finished. Assuming I can get this all finished. Oh, at the time, for the time being, all I'm doing is just filling in a whole bunch of stuff around the area just to squeeze out as many frames as I can so I can hopefully get this finished in a reasonable time frame. Sometimes I feel like the game is just taunting me here. Here's 3 divers long dupes all in one selection. That's just, yeah, I probably won't see another one for about a week now. Oh well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I spent about 13 cycles or so just bricking stuff in, just to try and free up a few frames here and there. It's going okay. Things have gotten a lot better. Well, not a lot better, but a decent amount better. My slicksters, however, are coming along quite nicely. Actually, cancel that. Slicksters, we're looking at about, ooh, one moment. We've got 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 0, 6, 1, 1. We got a lot. Mm, we got over 50, close to 60 slicksters already. These ones here have 3 grooming stations because they're the high priority ones that provide the breeding. The breeding ones are, it's getting pretty good. I think it was 25 last we checked. Now there's about 40 critters on average staying in here. So yeah, we should be producing more than enough critters to actually fill these all up. And in fact, soon I'm going to have to expand. Carbon dioxide wise, I think I am actually finally keeping up with all those natural gas generators. I'm actually consuming all the carbon dioxide. Soon I'm going to have to start piping down stuff from the space biome. But not just yet. I'm going to get a few more. Once the pressure in here drops to about 15 kilos, maybe 10 kilos, then I'll start worrying about it. But until then, there is a lot more construction that needs doing. Um, One thing I really need to do actually as well is expand. Oh, actually, where are those? Yeah, that's just irrigation. I actually need to expand this. It's going to max out before I'm finished, so why not just actually take care of that problem now? Simplest thing to do actually, this is a vacuum down here, so all I can do is actually just expand it from down here. Say something like that. And then, yep, yeah, basically brick it up from down below. And then after I've done that, I can actually delete the tiles inside and expand out from there. And we're done. All I did was just ripped out all the, well, put in what should hopefully fit in the next layer of natural gas generators. Now all I have to do is, well, open it up so that the dupes can get in. And let's see, deconstruct buildings. Actually, let's just deconstruct this entire bottom row to there. Yeah, that'll do. And this should hopefully allow me to expand it downwards. Now, one thing, this power spaghetti I've got up here, I don't need to worry about that on the bottom row. Uh, Basically, yeah, if 3 rows are running this, that if any power gets to the 7th row, that means the other 2 grids are actually at over 20 kilowatts already, which, yeah, if I'm over 20 kilowatts on the grid, there's no point trying to skimp in more power. So I'm just going to run a power cable through these so they turn on, but I'm not actually going to use the power. I just want the water that this thing is generating. Now, so yeah, they'll go through there, then we'll put a ladder segment down, and then we can actually start cracking this open. Pretty sure my polluted water is going to off-gas a bit, but honestly, I don't care too much. Actually put that there as well. Oop. Come on. And that's that. The only thing I got to worry about is that heavy conductive joint plate. I might have to move it, so I better make sure not to disconnect that. That actually feeds onto... that actually connects into the sour gas boiler, which would be bad to turn off. But on the bright side, yeah, this is powering it, so the coal generators would just kick in if anything bad happened. So I'm not really in any danger of anything happening. Yeah. Damn, I never thought I'd be expanding this. What I've found is if I restart the game every hour and a half or so, it actually really helps. It really does. This game runs rather slowly otherwise. Now, actually, you know what? I might just let the power generators take over for a bit, or the coal generators kick in. If I just deconstruct that, I had an awful lot of problems moving this from there. This was up 1 tile, I had to move it down 1. I literally had to make a power cable that went out, down, and around. Yeah, I don't want to do that here. That's just too much effort. So instead, I think I'm just going to delete this and replace it, which is an actual power cable. Should be fine. Deconstruct. Oop. Yeah, I should probably build that immediately just in case. Yeah, and all the power generators keep running. They don't care that there's nothing drawing power. So long as there's a power cable to connect it to them, they're good. Batteries down here are actually starting to go down for the first time in a long time. Oh, yeah, make that a priority 6. Should probably get around to that sooner rather than later. Damn, that thing does burn some power. And now we're plugged back in, and yeah, power problem solved again. And those dupes are trapped, aren't they? Oh. And that's where I actually wanted to put in the mesh tile layer. That goes along here. Yeah, so that's it pretty much. And, actually no, I should have deleted that and put in a heavy conductive joint plate there. Never mind, it will be fine. Anyway, I'll just skip this forward a little bit until we're almost ready to go. And that's pretty much the expansion complete. All I gotta do is put in a power cable to make sure that they still keep all running. I'm just gonna dump the power wherever, well, I don't care about the power. Just to put that simply, all I care about right now is getting more dupes, and more dupes. Oh, and my slicksters. I want lots and lots of slicksters. And actually, we'll just use a regular wire here. I'm not even going to bother using any heavy stuff. Why can't you go across there? Oh, yeah. I remember now, you can't actually have a plug socket interact with another plug socket. So we'll just move you up one tile. And there, boom. That's the next level down. So now I need to expand this, and thankfully I left myself some room, and I also left access for my duplicates. How's the actual heat looking down here? 200 degrees. Pretty warm. I mean, wouldn't want to go there on holidays, but dupes are dupes. Buildings, just buildings, yes. And we can drag that out of there and put in another ventilation insulated gas pipe. How much ceramic have I got left? 88 tons. Okay, I've burned through an awful lot of ceramic. Oh, yeah, no. Put in the bridge. Yeah, that bridge is to actually let in the natural gas from the rest of the map, as in the overflow natural gas. Ooh, not bad. Tell you what, get rid of that. I basically want to bridge this on in a way that spreads that out nice and evenly. So I think what I'll do is I'll just do that. Boom. Wait, is that the input? Yeah, that is definitely the input. I've done that before where I plug the input into the output. Don't want to make that mistake again. And I'll actually have to give myself some more room down here as well. And get rid of that. Oh, and I'll need to put the ladder back in. Yeah, I really thought I was never coming back to expand this again. As you can see, the dupes are actually starting to get a bit chuggish now. Yeah, the game's been running for about an hour, so the dupe motion has gotten a bit sluggish. Game doesn't like being run for too long at this size. What are we at actually? 59 dupes. Yeah, so I'll finish this off anyway, then I'll go around and get the do some more slickster work. Yeah, I've actually got a slickster tank we should have a look at right now. So this here is my evolution chamber for my my little slicksters. And if we're checking the overlay here, what are we at? We're at 96 critters. Let's just round it up to 100 because it's going to get there sooner rather than later. But at 100 slicksters, it's 20 cycles for an egg to hatch. That means there's about 5 eggs hatching per cycle. 5 eggs. Each egg will make 1 barbecue, so that's 5 barbecues per cycle. Each barbecue will feed 4 dupes, so that's 20 dupes worth of barbecue right in that room. Well, 20 dupes worth of barbecue per cycle coming out of this little contraption. Well, okay, and of course the Slickster army I've got going on down here that has continued to expand. How much are we up to in here? Okay, we've got 8 in that. That was not at 8 last I checked. That was not even at 4. There's 1. Oh yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eights. We got 64 Slicksters at least. And the pressure in here is rapidly plummeting. I'm going to need to... Well, actually, no, it's not too bad. Still about 18. Yeah. I'll pump down some more carbon dioxide in a bit. And, I don't know what chlorine in. You know what? I don't care. So, yeah, I'll just have a quick overlook in the gas piping. Same thing again with the exhaust pipe. I'm just dumping it onto this. I misread the instructions, or I misthought about these when I was putting them down. The natural gas geyser, 3/4 of its output is polluted water. 1/4 is carbon dioxide. As in, for every gram of every gram of natural gas you put in, you actually get an equal amount of grams back out. So 3/4 of that is water. 1/4 is CO2. So basically, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon dioxide pipes coming out should allow all 4 rows to actually just, yeah, work just fine. Well, we'll see. And that depends if I can keep my computer stable enough to do that. And why is that backed up? Why are you backed up? Is that because I don't have a bridge? I think that's because I do not have a bridge there. You know what? I am going to fix that. That's probably been backing up my gas flows. Yeah, this is the reason why you should occasionally stop and have a look around your base instead of rushing around all the time like a headless chicken. Actually, we'll wait until that. Yeah, a whole row of them has not been operating because that's been jamming it up. Ooh, that means I can support a few more slicksters. Anyway, you know what? This is just a minor fix. We'll come back in a minute. My computer really did not like the addition of all those gas pipes all of a sudden, but everything seems to have smoothed itself out again, and 4 rows, 4.5 rows are running. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 rows are running. But I should be able to get more online as more and more slicksters kick in and as I start cranking up the gas. Namely because the amount of oil I'm getting should be increasing. What are we up to? Oh, that's well above. Yeah, I'm going to have to start tweaking these. We're going to make you 6,600 with an overflow of 1. Yeah, what's the petroleum looking like? Oh, buggery. Oh, yeah, we will make you 6,600 with an overflow of 1. Yeah, so we're processing 7.6 kilos. No, 7.3. Oh, there we go. Now it's caught up. So, 7.6 kilos of petroleum being processed, well, crude oil being processed into petroleum and then into natural gas. I'm quite liking this map, even if it is a little bit slow. Anyway, I'm going to give it a quick restart. This is getting kind of chuggish. It's time for my old industrial brick to go. I need this space. Basically, I need more ranches. A lot more ranches. And this is the closest space I can tap into. Also, I might want to get rid of that as well. Hmm. Okay, later. First, I want to start decommissioning this because I'm going to run out of ranch space very soon and I'm going to need a lot of it. A lot more of it. So this really has to go. All of it's going to become a ranching area. Also, there's CO2 up here I can probably tap into. I can dump it directly into the oil biome, so why not? Now, the first thing I've done is I've actually hooked this natural gas tanks up. Well, I've done some jerry-rig wiring to hook them back in here, and why has that stopped flowing? Uh, okay. Why did it stop? Hmm. Okay, it seems I have broken something. You know what, I'm just going to throw a bridge on here, see if that makes a difference. 1 second. Yeah, that didn't help. I busted something. And the annoying thing is I don't want to deconstruct one of those pipes because it's in a vacuum in here. And if I do deconstruct the pipes and there's actually any... yeah, one blob went through. You know what? I am going to have to, aren't I? It's empty, so if they deconstruct it, maybe I won't have a horrific mess. Let's find out. And no horrific mess. Okay, I can live with that. Yeah, well, that will allow me to drain all the natural gas out of that area. Well, out of the industrial brick. Wow, and that will allow me to dump some of this. In fact, I'm going to get rid of all the chlorine and just dump it into space. I should be able to tap it into the natural or the carbon dioxide lines. The carbon dioxide lines, I'll just say run a gas pipe up and tap it into one of those. Should be pretty handy. But yeah, this whole thing's got to go. So this is the rest of this video will be, or some of this video is going to be a bit of a teardown, and then dealing with that enormous amount of steam up there. I'm actually still trying to figure out what to do with it. 1 minute. And there goes the last of the natural gas out of this area. That means I can rip it all out, the whole lot of it. It can all go, every single last guy's. Actually, let me double check. Actually, only up as far as there. The reason being the gas from the natural gas from the bottom of the map from the oil wells still comes up there. But the rest of this mess I can start dismantling. Wow. This is just such a spaghetti junction. I have no idea what I was thinking when I made this. No, I was thinking I would fix it later. Damn you, Past Francis. You are a moron, and thank you for putting me in this position. Okay, I'm going to spend a few minutes figuring out what I can rip out of here, and we'll cut back in when this looks a little bit tidier and hopefully not messier. So that was actually relatively painless. Also, most of the gas pipes in there were vestigial. I had a whole bunch of pipes from down here that were actually this gas pump that was doing all that sorting. It's the main reason I don't have a whole bunch of chlorine and carbon dioxide and random gases down here, is this gas pump's been sorting them and dumping them into these containers. Uh, so I also did a little migration of the natural gas coming down. It goes in here. The natural gas coming up from below comes in here. The two of them meet there. And I only need 2 overflows now. So this third overflow basically goes directly to space, and I can dump waste gases out that way, which is good because I want to get rid of all this chlorine. Yeah, we'll just dump you all across there. Oh, you know what? You're only temporary anyway. That just plugs in there and that'll dump all the gas out of those canisters into space, saving me a whole bunch of pain. Now, let's get rid of all this junk. You can all go. All of you. Also, no more ceramic, no more grinding, no more anything. You can all go. If I'm going to redo them, I'll redo them at a later date somewhere else. You can all go too. And one thing I've noticed is the water up here is actually down to 60 degrees. I turned this off a while back because, well, this wasn't actually generating any heat, and the only thing actually generating heat in here should have been the kiln. Though, yeah, I am using this to cool down the gold volcano. I'll have to do some. I'll send the output of that somewhere else. How are we looking? Damn it. I think the hardest part is going to be waiting for more dupes. I might actually just start save scumming just so I can get more deeper divers lung dupes. That might be my best bet because otherwise at this rate it will take me like another 100 hours of rolling until I get the sufficient quantity. We're up to 53 plus 6 in rockets, so that's 59. I'm still 41 dupes short. Yeah, I think save scumming is on the cards. If only it wasn't so painful. It takes about, put it this way, I can go get a cup of tea in the time it takes for this map to load. Yeah. I'll cut this out here for a bit and I'll come back when we've got more of this demolition complete. I basically have to tap this into the oil biome, but not let a whole bunch of oxygen in. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We'll see how this works out. So this is turning out to be an awful lot more complicated to deconstruct than I thought, and I should probably actually stop those coal generators from burning coal. Yeah, I removed all the automation wires. Um, yeah, the hydrogen in here, I was dumped into these tanks and then made another plug socket over here. I've got more stuff I've got to plug in. Seems like I'm constantly building those. But the hydrogen, I basically filled this box and now I'm dumping it into my rocketry system. My rocketry system is running a little bit short, let's say, on hydrogen at the moment. If we check at the top of the map, you'll see my hydrogen tank is completely empty. Ever since I switched my rockets over to pure hydrogen, yeah, I've pretty much been running nothing. Dry as a bone in the tank. As well as that, I seem to be getting overheat on one of the doors. I think it was just bad luck on the regolith. What was happening was this rocket here, the one that launches the most frequently, had actually overheated the door by getting it above the 1200 degrees. Most of the rest of them are actually regolith cooled, so just one of the things to be aware of. So that'll get rid of the hydrogen. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the sour gas yet. The water, fair enough. I'm just going to strip once the hydrogen's done, I'm going to strip this. Actually, the hydrogen's not going to be a problem. I can strip this out now. What's the plug? What does that actually power? That powers nothing. Okay. Oh, I disconnected that. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I wonder what it was actually powering. I should really figure that out. I think it was just that aquatuner. Okay, good, good. That could have been messy otherwise. I'm also going to have to redo this power spine here because it goes right through this area, and I'm probably going to be chopping off this entire chunk here to turn it into... Actually, I'll have to do some checking with the grids. I mean, this here, say, is... Actually, this here is exactly what I need to fit in two of them. That is 10 by 27. So if I say slap one of them right about here, yeah. Was it 10 wide by 27 high? Ooh, actually, I can fit in quick. I should be able to fit him in 3 tall. How wide? 10, 20, 30. Yeah, I can fit in as many as I need here, so long as I strip this all out, and I shouldn't interfere with that power. I can leave that there, never mind. Yeah, well, that's all done. Once this is vacuumed out, or close enough that I don't care if any of the hydrogen escapes, I'll rip the rest of this sucker apart. Yeah, decommissioning old stuff, a lot trickier than anticipated. Oh, as well as that, the power spine here actually feeds... This actually feeds my gold volcano tamer. It also provides power to... Where is it? Yeah, the pump that powers my petroleum boiler. So yeah, these three down here are actually, two of these down here are actually quite critical. One of them is critical, the other one's the gold, which is handy, and the third one actually used to run a pump here, which has been decommissioned. But I basically need to get power for these before I can rip this whole section out. Also, as well as that, this leads over here to my battery box. I don't really want to disconnect that, though I do have more batteries on the network. It would be nice to keep that batteries up and running. Yeah, just all the little things. Yeah, but I'll jump forward a bit. There's just lots of minor little aggravations to take care of here. Actually, I ended up with a bunch of eggshells down here. Turns out this is where all my eggshells were dropped off. Smart enough. But yeah, I ended up deleting the drop off, and now I had to. Now I'm dumping all my eggshells right here. Where is it? Eggshells. 36 kilos of eggshells. Yeah, all my eggshells are going to go there for the time being. I think it's time for another jump forward in time. Here was me worrying about disposing of sour gas when it dawned on me, yes, I have this pipes, 3 pipes right here that lead straight up to the space biome and allow me to dump whatever I don't want wherever I want it. Well, into space. So yeah, 2 gas pumps, some wire, and boom, that will be that problem solved. Okay, it'll take a little time, but problem solved. The hydrogen in here, it's low enough that I don't even care anymore. I'm going to crack this open and let the hydrogen escape. It's not really going to cause any problems. Oh, and this aqua tuner, yeah, that can go. I'm just going to stick a liquid pump in there, and I'm going to pump the clean water into my water tank. That's gone through steam turbines, God knows how many thousands of times at this point. And now, right back into the liquid tank. Can't really damage water, can you? Although I might want to remove some of the junk in there first. Actually, you know what? That piping is not going to interfere. But the polluted water loops, I'm actually just going to break them off and send them back into the polluted water tank. That should not be an issue. In fact, what if I just say bridge it on to this line? Oh, no, no, that's all wonky. Back up. Right about there. What are those lines? I have no idea. You know what? I'm going to trace those lines and find out what's going on. So I did a bit of tracing, and it turns out this is the old petroleum line that used to deliver petroleum up to the top of the map for my rocketry system that has, well, I don't use petroleum anymore, so yeah, decommissioned. But instead of actually deleting that and just hopping across, I realized this actually leads into my polluted water line. This is actually a polluted water disposal line, so I can just tap directly into that, and that's my problem solved. Well, mm, yeah, I'll figure that out some way. Actually, that one can go in there straight away. But yeah, that should make it much... Oh, and I can cancel all of these. That should make it pretty simple. And how are we looking on hatches? Hatches are up to 97 in the eat box, and down here we're looking at... Ooh, okay, that's a lot of hatches. Last I checked in, the last 4 rooms weren't full. That one's full, that one's full, 7 in that, and... Wow, okay, so I'm 9 hatches short, and I put in an extra one over here. Ooh, I have space for 17 more hatches, and then these will all be full. That's going to be a problem. How's my carbon dioxide pressure looking? Still dropping, but still well within safety margins. Yeah, I really need to get this online sooner rather than later. So yeah, no more dawdling about. Now, you may be wondering how I'm going to get rid of that oil. So was I for quite some time. And then I hit upon a very simple idea. I'll just put a mesh towel here, drop all the oil into the bottom here, and let a pump remove it. In fact, I have that leaky oil fissure that I've limited the flow on. So I'm just going to dump it into that pipe. That pipe goes down to the oil biome somewhere. Actually, I haven't traced it all the way down, but I'm pretty sure it goes... Actually, I should probably chase that down to the oil biome just to be safe. Yeah, it dumps down there. It's going to spike my numbers for a bit, but who cares? And how did it actually manage to make it over the side there? There's no way it should have done that. It's a straight down drop. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much how I'm going to get rid of all the oil. Should be fairly straightforward. You can also go... Yeah, don't care about vacuums anymore. Oh, yeah, I should probably care about those fans kicking in again and wasting electricity. Not wasting too much. Oh, you can go, you can go. For the plumbing, I simply pumped all the polluted water out here around this circle and down here. Fairly simple. And for this, I just dumped it across into this line here. This line actually feeds my electrolyzers, so yeah, my electrolyzers are pumping through an enormous amount of liquid at the moment. When you have this many, what, 553 plus 6 in rockets, so 59 with 59 dupes basically. Yeah, that's just a ridiculous amount. Oh, I eventually cracked that open. That was... Oh yeah, it was empty anyway, it's fine. But that basically gets rid of my crude oil problems. You can go there, you can go there, you can go there, you can go there. Actually, nope. Let's do them one at a time. I'm not going to be hasty this time. But that's, yeah, this is almost finished. Soon we'll have a glorious new Slickster ranch. Hallelujah. It's new recruit number 60. Yes, welcome. Actually, let's check the skills down here. Dear Lord. 60 dupes. I don't know if that's a record, but it feels like it. I have no idea if I'll make it to 100 though at this point. I'm beginning to worry that my computer will just fall over and be unable to handle it. Uh, oop, yeah, problem with having two screens. Still working on this, but I just thought I'd show you the number 60 duplicate. Hopefully we'll have another one shortly. So it's getting a little bit late here. I'm not going to stop at playing. I'm going to actually have to do an awful lot more work, but I won't be recording as much of it because, well, people have to sleep, and I don't want to be keeping them awake. So I'll be cutting it out here, and I'll probably be jumping forward quite a bit after this. I'll probably have most of the Slicksters done. I'm not going to cut out the episode quite here, though, because I do kind of want to get these Slickster farms finished. And why will it not pass through these doors? Yes. Yeah, you can go. What I'm doing is I'm actually getting this power wire out of the way so I can put in as many Slickster farms as I can possibly fit. I want to fit them all in, like all of them. There will be nothing but Slickster farms by the time I'm finished. What it'll do to my frame rate? Well, in all fairness, my frame rate's already through the floor, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, the video will continue shortly. I'll just be maybe quite a little bit further along by then. Number 61. Yes. Also the oil biome. The new Slickster farms coming along perfectly. Now, I've been doing some works here, and I just want to cover a slight modification I made. I changed the entrance here to just above the floor so I could put in a visco gel airlock. This is to basically separate this atmosphere off. I'm basically going to put another one here. Actually, I've already built that one there, and I'm going to wall off along here, and this gives me a nice room that I can attach to the oil biome. However, I was thinking, well, I'm worried about basically a little bit of oil down here contaminating that liquid lock and breaking the seal. So what I've done, or what I'm decided to do, is I'm going to double layer the liquid lock. So effectively what I'm doing is I'm creating another liquid lock that's going to go all the way up here, up this ladder, up to about here somewhere. So I've got 3 bottle emptiers here that I'm just dumping visco gel into to basically make a really, really, really tall liquid lock. Yeah, if I had been planning ahead better, I would have actually moved this about 2 tiles to the left, and then I could have put in more stable liquid locks. Also, this bottom floor here will be replaced with mesh tiles when this is ready to be fired up, but for the time being, it's just the way it is. Now, you'll see here these pipe segments that are going in. Let's actually bring up the pipe overview. You'll notice it's just lots of bridges. That's because this is made of insulated pipe. Well, not the bridges, just the little pipe segments. If you use a bridge, you can basically get 3 tiles of piping for the cost of 2 pipes in a bridge. It just saves you on insulation. I mean, those liquid bridges are made of what? Igneous rock? Yeah, the most common rock there is, and they won't transfer heat with anything. So long as the pipe segments are made of insulation, I can perfectly bring down the carbon dioxide from up in space. So that'll get my liquid all the way down here. Now, once the liquid does get down here, this is what I'm going to use to heat up the CO2. And why is that? Oh yeah, I didn't connect those yet. This is basically just going to be a liquid tepidizer and a bunch of petroleum. I'll put in a little bit more. I just don't want to. Actually, that might be enough. Yeah, well, basically this tepidizer is going to stay here. I'm going to set the temperature to, if the temperature is below 55. Yeah, if the temperature is below 55. Actually, wait, no. I don't know how hot this is going to come out when it first fired up, so we're going to say if the temperature is below 65 to start anyway. And effectively what's going to happen here is the carbon dioxide will fall down here. The temperature shift plates are going to help move that temperature around. It will turn into a gas, and I'm going to have these top parts capped off. Carbon dioxide will then flow out through here, and these temperature shift plates will dump a bunch of temperature into it. It's very important to have those temperature shift plates there. The reason being, carbon dioxide has an extremely low thermal conductivity. It's 0.015, which is basically pathetic. Somewhere between super pathetic and really pathetic. Why is they not brought any more visco gel? Oh yeah, I queued up an enormous lump of pipes. So this is the plan. In fact, this carbon dioxide that's down here, that's from the power brick. The power brick had all of that in it, which is kind of nice. And to let that carbon dioxide escape, I've set up this little thing up here. Once I start dumping in carbon dioxide, all that oxygen is going to be forced up to the top, and I'm going to open those doors to let it out. And then when there's nothing but carbon dioxide left, I can close the doors and be done with it. Just a very simplistic way of getting rid of the carbon dioxide. But pipe-wise, that pipe actually runs, one second. Yeah, that pipe runs all the way up to the top of the map. Actually, I'll just pause it for a second. This pipe here, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way across and over to the carbon dioxide tanks. So I have, what, 15 tons of carbon dioxide stored up. I'm just going to dump that in right now. I'm not even going to bother with a flow control. I am dumping that straight into this. Actually, is that full yet? I really do not want to overflow that. You know what? We'll turn off one of you before I forget, because I will forget. So yeah, this is going to be my second set of ranches. Turns out I only need this many. This will give me 168 slicksters, which is, I was aiming for about 160, 168 sounds about right. And the reason I'm trying to get this up and running so quickly is these are almost all full. Actually, that's at 7. Where are you at? 8. Actually, they are all full. It's 7, 8, 8, 8. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so those hatcheries are all full, or those ranches are all full. And room size wise, we're looking at over here, we got 41. Actually, just to figure out how many critters I'm producing per second, just divide the amount of critters in that room by 20, and that tells you how many critters are hatching every cycle. It takes 20 cycles for an egg to hatch, so if I divide that by 20, I get about 2 critters per cycle is what this is producing for me. So that means this is going to be full in about half a cycle. So I actually, oh, what's this one at? That was also 8. I think we might actually turn one of these on now. There's a bit of CO2 in here already. Yeah, actually copy paste. Much safer. Okay, that should at least tide me over. That'll buy me 3 or 4 cycles. And hopefully the carbon dioxide should be flowing down here quite shortly. And once that kicks in, I'll start actually putting in mesh tiles down here to let everything out, or let the mess out. Oop, there can go. And I think the reason I'm not getting any visco gel right now is, yeah, I queued up an enormous amount of piping and stuff, and no one's free to do those visco gel locks just yet. They'll get around to it later. Plan is visco gel up to about here. It was a while before I realized visco gel. Oh, there's the, yeah, visco gel. You can basically make it as tall as you want. I could literally make this visco gel airlock go all the way up until it hits there, if I wanted to, and split the map in. Well, stop the gases from this side interfering with the gases on that side. I'm not going to do that, but it is handy to know that it's possible. I'm pretty sure you could put a visco gel airlock the entire length of the map. Yeah. I think I'll cut this out here for now. I don't think there's anything really else of interest to show. I'm pretty sure this should work quite well. How much liquid we got in there now? 400, 500 kilos. You know what? 500 kilos is fine. You can be a sweep only again. So once this is all up and running, I'll just fire it up, but I'm probably going to continue on doing a lot more work in the background. I need to get all these slicksters up and running as well. So I'll just cut it forward a bit from here. So I'm actually about ready to fire this up about now. And oh, slicksters are just getting dropped off down here. We got 2. Okay, great. So I really need to get this carbon dioxide flowing. So for that, we're going to want some plumbing. And I believe I've already built all the pipes here, so this should just connect instantly. Yeah, there we go. So actually queue up remove some of that debris. So carbon dioxide hits the plate. Actually, let's bring up the gas overlay. Carbon dioxide hits the plate and it starts spreading out. And what temperature is it over here? So I get 55. Okay, it's already up to 55, 56 degrees. Actually, what did I set it to again? Let's leave it at 55, see what happens. That petroleum actually started quite warm to begin with. Wait, if it's above 55, no, if it's below 55. Okay, I just cooked the petroleum to 80 degrees. It's fine. So the carbon dioxide flows across these temperature shift plates. It doesn't matter if it's in the top layer or the second layer. These temperature shift plates are basically interacting with the tiles on either side of it. And the carbon dioxide is coming out. Damn it. I just want to make sure it's the right temperature. It's 75, 70, 40. Yeah, I think we're good actually. Yeah, all of that's coming out of there about 74 degrees, 70, 74. I think that's because the petroleum is so hot. Once the petroleum cools down a bit, we should get a more stable reading. Now, tepidizers are amazing. They produce an enormous amount of heat. They're far more efficient at generating temperature than aquatuners. The only reason people don't use them more is, well, they can't go above about 80 degrees, which makes them very limited usefulness. But for this purpose of just turning carbon dioxide into a reasonably hot gas, not a problem. These slicksters can survive up to, what is it, 35? Give me a quick look here. Yeah, they can survive 35 degrees or higher. So, yeah, all we need is about 55 degrees. What did I set it to? Yeah, 55. We should be good, and all of that seems to be working just fine. I'm going to dump in 5 tons of this stuff, and, well, sorry, 15 tons of carbon dioxide. I haven't actually turned the carbon skimmers or the carbon sinks back on again yet. I'm going to wait until I've dumped all of this in and just see how the system handles it. And oh, yeah, since they're already in there, and we've got our giant super liquid lock in place. There we go. Now that's connected to the oil biome, but not actually connected to the rest of the map, which should be fine. Unfortunately, the heat's going to leak out a bit, but unless I was willing to move the whole thing one or two tiles to the left, yeah, I really should have planned it a little bit better ahead. But, you know, that double layer liquid lock, I'm kind of liking it. What's the pressure down here at the bottom? Only 95 kilos? It's supposed to be 100 by you know what? I don't care the physics in this game. Oh, there's 100 kilos in the middle somewhere. Oh yeah, well that all works, and this seems to be working. I'm pretty happy with that. There is a big blob of oxygen caught in there. Hopefully that will get kicked out after a while. It's probably affecting flow. You know what? Not going to worry about it. It's pumping out carbon dioxide. It's doing it at a steady rate. It's coming out at the correct temperature. I'm going to call that a win. And when this starts, actually I'll open these doors over here. Now that should start pushing out all the oxygen that's in this room because it's only, well, it's much lower pressure than the carbon dioxide we've got access to. Whew, down to 11 kilos. Yeah, I'm going to cut forward from here quite a bit. I got a whole bunch of bricking off to do in the background. And yeah, I'll come back once we've got a few more slicksters in play. Actually, that reminds me. Let's open up some more of these slickster farms. This should give us 160 slicksters. 168 actually, I forgot about this one. So this will give us 168 slicksters, which should provide all our food needs till end of game. I will have to set up an egg cooker though, but that's later. I'll just cut forward from here until we've got some more slicksters in play. So we've managed to hit about 132 slicksters. I just counted them all up there. We got plenty of slicksters, but it will max out hopefully at 168 if this keeps going the way it's going. I did encounter a few, of course, side problems that I hadn't anticipated. One was I wasn't generating enough cooling over here, or well, there's actually a few problems I'm running into. For example, here I'm actually ending up with long-haired larvae surviving in here. The reason being the water's not cold enough. Where is it? Molten, slickster. Long-haired. Yeah, long-haired slicksters, they can survive down to -5. So this is not cold enough to actually destroy them, but at the same time, they also weigh 50 kilos. So it turns out what I'm doing here is I'm dumping so much mass in here, it's actually causing a problem. For example, there's 312 in there. Actually, let's just do a quick kill to get a more accurate reading. But basically at 300, let's say, divide that by 20, I'm looking at about 10, 15. So I'm dumping in 15 eggs a cycle, and 15 of those eggs are hatching every cycle, which means the 15 hatched eggs, each one of them turns into a slickster that weighs 50 kilos, and then I have to cool that slickster down. So 15 by 50. Yeah, I'm basically cooling down an enormous amount of mass in here, and it didn't make sense to me for a while why this wasn't getting any colder. So I made a few minor modifications and dumped in, I used thermium pipes to basically just increase the conductivity between that and my waste outflow. I also separated off the sewer so it goes directly into the tank as opposed to mixing with this cold water, because the cold water from my power plant is basically what I'm depending on to do to run that icebox. Also, the power plant over here wasn't quite as cold as I wanted it to be, so I decreased the chill in here to -50. This thing is slowly catching up with that request. We'll see how it handles it. Yes, this thing is actually struggling to cool down this many natural gas generators, and if you'll notice, all but the bottom row is pretty much constantly active now. Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of natural gas and a lot of polluted water being produced. Um, Now, to run all these Slickster farms, I needed to get more ranchers. So right now I'm running 19 ranchers. Where is it? Yeah, basically I just promoted a bunch of dupes to ranching. Where are we? Yeah, there's lots of them. All these ones with hats. So we've got about 19 of them. They should be able to sort this mess out. I also decreased the amount of, well, actually, where is it? Pinch of pepper nuts. My pinch of pepper nuts have actually started going down for the first time in I don't know how long. So I think I'm actually producing enough meat now to actually keep up with the barbecue requirements. I've also went around and installed. I've also went around and installed a whole bunch of stuff up here to keep the cooling going on. Why is that doing? I've paused it. Never mind. I've also installed all of these heaters up here to get all of these pepper nuts active again, so I can start harvesting them. I'm going to have to start building more, or get my hands on some more dogs' bodies out to go around and harvest all of these. That will not be a problem, though. I have plenty of new recruits that I can be drawing upon. So I think I'm going to cut this out here for now. I've got lots more stuff to do. Well, only a few more building projects and then lots of dupes to hire. Since I'm getting more meat now than I need, I'm going to actually have to start diverting a percentage of this into egg production or omelette production. And and I've reactivated the carbon sinks up at the top of the map, and my carbon dioxide pressure in here is perfect. It's going to keep rising, of course, until until it maxes out everywhere. Yeah, it's already getting to the point where these vents are going to stop venting, and yeah, those vents are what actually feeds the carbon dioxide from my natural gas plants. But the overflow pipes are already in place, so that's fine there. But once I get the slicksters up and maxed out, I should be just about keeping up with consumption versus production. I'll have a little bit of excess carbon dioxide, but I'll just dump that into space. And I think that's food covered. That will be food and most of the water we need to do space. All I got to do now is recycle my polluted dirt into oxygen to feed to my rockets and set up some omelet production. And then it's just hire dupes, and hire some more dupes. Yeah, so that's 66 dupes. Yeah, 6 in rockets, 60 around the rest of the base. Yeah, I see this question come up all the time, but the reason the other 6 duplicates aren't showing up is because they're in rockets. Once duplicates enter a rocket, they're no longer counted as being a part of the map. So I think they show up under consumables, though. Or, yeah. Yeah, they're all grayed out. They show up under consumables, but they're grayed out, and they don't show up under your population. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this nice carbon dioxide mm, dumping. This was, yeah, there was a lot of people asking what way I was going to tackle this in the comments. Actually, I haven't got around to the comments or anything. I've pretty much been spending any free time I have trying to get this map complete. So I've got to go through and do a binge on the comments and reply to everyone. But yeah, this seemed like the simplest method. There was other methods where I could drop it down the side of the map, do stuff like that, or turn it into gas first and then pump the gas down. But if I turned it into gas first, I'd need to run 4 or 5 gas pipes. It just wasn't worth it. I figured, yeah, I'll burn the insulation. It's end game and I've got the resources to do it, so why not? This just made it a very simple and easy way. There were suggestions to recycle the carbon dioxide using rocket engines, which I really enjoyed. Another one was one of my original plans was I was going to actually release the carbon dioxide here and dig a pit down and underneath here because this natural gas is coming out at about 200 degrees, and if I basically release the carbon dioxide in here, it would flow down, and assuming I dug a little hole under here, I could have it all pop up under here into my ranches. Yeah, I decided not. That was way, way, way too much effort. This, very simple, quick throw together, solved my problem instantly. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and good luck.